In today's breaking story, the FBI has just dropped a surprise Charlie Kirk bomb on Donald Trump Jr. That's right, Charlie Kirk continues to dominate the news cycle for obvious reasons. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, with Charlie Kirk's tragic death, we've seen a lot of people speaking out, a lot of people that we wouldn't have expected. Vocal critics of Charlie Kirk are defending him.
I hope it doesn't have a chilling effect, whether you're left or right, on your ability to speak your mind. I know the one thing we all agree about on this table, we all share our viewpoints, and we should be able to do that without fear.
Well, that's our bread and butter here. So, of course, it's very important. I agree with everything you're saying.
Well, and also, although we don't all align with his views, what I deeply aligned with was he said, when we stop talking, that's when things get bad. The irony of a man who would go across the country to college campuses, that's the pinnacle of thought differences. It's where you're supposed to have conversations, would go, and his series was called Prove Me Wrong. He would talk to people openly who disagreed. It's what we try to exemplify every day and say, this is what we need more of. So the irony of being violently killed while saying those words of what we need more of in this country, I know all of us agree on that part, as there's never a place for political violence.
Even AOC had things to say.
People can finger point all they want. Look at the record. Look at the actions of what we are doing. I don't think a single person who has dedicated their entire career to preventing gun safety legislation from getting passed in this House has any right to blame anybody else but themselves for what is happening. We have to stop this. We can stop this. And why don't we start by acknowledging that basic common sense gun safety legislation is not taking away a gun, is not attacking the Second Amendment, but it is about ensuring the safety of our children, of women, of people across this country, to ensure that guns and firearms do not get in the hands of people who are going to use them against human beings, period. Domestic violence is one of the highest indicators of whether a person is going to kill someone else with a gun or not. There are so many other indicators, and I think it is so deeply important that when a politician tries to blame words for inaction, they need to look at their action and their record. Enough of this. This is horrific. This is awful. And the assassination of Charlie Kirk risks an uncorking of political chaos and violence that we cannot risk in America. We cannot risk it.
And now the FBI has just dropped a surprise Charlie Kirk bomb on Trump Jr. That's right, take a look at today's top story. Today, the FBI dropped new revelations that completely destroy Donald Trump Jr.'s claim that a transgender person assassinated Charlie Kirk. For days now, MAGA figures have been pushing the lie that Kirk's killer was part of some so-called radical trans movement. That entire narrative collapsed when the FBI confirmed the suspect is a white Mormon male from Utah named Tyler Robinson. So how did this lie spread so quickly? Well, it started with a Wall Street Journal report citing a law enforcement source who claimed bullets at the scene had transgender ideology carved into them. But gun experts are pointing out something far more likely. Those bullets may have been manufactured by Turan Ammo, a company that stamps TRN on its rounds. Someone, either through ignorance or malice, apparently saw TRN and jumped to trans. Whether it was a mistake or an intentional scheme, the damage is done. Right-wing media figures latched onto the claim because it fit neatly into their ongoing campaign against transgender Americans. Even though we now know beyond doubt the shooter was not trans, many in MAGA world will cling to the falsehood.
You know, I've been talking about it for a long time, and that's where those threats are coming from. And you're 100% right, Megan. Like, think about per capita. I can't name, including probably like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, a group that is more violent per capita than the radical trans movement. Yep. I mean, when you think of the mass killings, when you think of this, each and every one, and I'm sure there's plenty that we don't even know about because they wouldn't release the manifesto like they didn't in Wisconsin,
Nashville.
or they refuse to do it because you're not allowed to talk about the truth, because I mean, I'm sure it's totally normal. I'm sure people are totally sane after jacking themselves up on hormones given to them by some, rainbow-haired freak doctor because, they think men can somehow magically become women. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that, Megyn. It can't possibly, right? That wouldn't be convenient.
In that interview, Trump Jr. smeared transgender people as more violent per capita than Al-Qaeda or the Taliban, even claiming they were behind every mass shooting in America. The facts could not be further from that. Trans Americans are far more likely to be victims of violence, not perpetrators. According to PolitiFact's review of more than 4,000 mass shootings, only 0.17% were carried out by transgender individuals. And as NBC News has confirmed, the alleged assassin Tyler Robinson was not even a registered Democrat. His voter registration listed no party when last updated in 2021. In other words, another MAGA talking point has collapsed. What remains crystal clear is that this man should never have had access to a gun. Yet thanks to Republican lawmakers loosening gun safety measures, he did. And now, instead of confronting that reality, Republican leaders tried to invent a scapegoat. Today, that lie fell apart. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.